I've been thinking so much about what does it mean to be prepared? And that looks so different for everybody because you can be prepared for many different situations depending on where you live, whether that's where in the world, where in the country, you know, if you live in town, like in the city, do you live out in the country where it takes a while to get to a store? Like your situation is going to be very different. What are you preparing for? Now, lately we've been hearing so much on the news about all these different catastrophic events, whether that's hurricanes down south, forest fires out west. You know, there's so many different things. We're in an election year, like we have no idea what is coming. And I am not in the business of living my life in fear. Fear, it brings no fruit. Living in fear, while yes, it can help prepare you for things, it's mental bondage. And that's just something I've been down that road of living in fear and having a fearful mindset. And I'm just not into that. And so that is not something that I want to press into you guys or to share. I'm not sharing living in fear. What are you doing to prepare yourself, your spouse, or your family for? Sometimes we don't even know when we think about being prepared. Oftentimes we think about like food storage, which is a great one, definitely, because you never know if you're going to need food storage, and it's nice to just have the food storage just in case. You just never know. Do you have backup water supply? Do you have a supply of gas? If you need to flee, you know, gas does go bad, and so you can't keep it indefinitely and have it be super functional. But I mean, essentially, I was reading a bunch of people down in Florida who couldn't leave because the gas stations were out of gas. Like, there's a lot of different scenarios that you could encounter, and maybe you never encounter any of them, and that would be amazing. But what if? And I think when you have kids in your household, it makes it a lot more difficult because, like, if it's just you or a spouse and you're fully capable and able, you can usually like get up and leave, or, you know, get to the store or get whatever you need. But oftentimes when there's kids or you have a disability of some sort, you have to have a little bit of that proactive mindset. And that's something that my husband and I were actually really good about for quite a while. And then 2020 hit, and that kind of cleared out our financial ability to like stock up on food or just to put financial investments into things for the possibility of future use. And now that we're, you know, 4 years later, and we're thinking like, we have no idea what's to come. Do we have food? Yes. Do we have a garden? Yes. Do we have animals that, you know, if need be, which I'm not saying that we're anywhere near this, but if we needed to butcher animals to have meat, could we do that? Yes, for sure we could. But what if it's just something simple, like a go bag or a get out bag? You know, if you need to leave quickly, do you have some essential items ready to go? Or even maybe just a list of items that you would take in a scenario like that, so that in a moment of maybe having to leave or to flee, or, you know, say you have to be evacuated for whatever reason, there's a gas spill or a gas leak or an oil spill or whatever the case may be. Do you have a clear mindset in that moment of emergency? Do you have the ability to know how you would handle those situations? I think those are important things to think about. You know, especially if you live in a city, you know, the downfall of society happens much quicker than you might realize when supplies become scarce. I was watching a video around just after Hurricane Helene. They were talking about all the fights and the confrontations that were happening just outside of gas stations that just seemed to be stemming around the stress of the situation. And that's just a tiny little glimpse of how quickly people can turn hostile or violent in a time of need. Another part of preparedness that I think many people don't touch on and don't find value in is actually like your physical ability to do something. Physical fitness of some sort. Do you have endurance? Can you withstand something at a high intensity for a long period of time? Do you have strength? Do you have the strength to carry something? Do you have the strength to lift something? What if you needed to like save somebody? Can you physically do that? Yes, adrenaline kicks in, but there is a level of physical ability that comes into play. And I find incredible value in training for that now. So if you were to assess your life and your situation right now, what is one thing that you could start changing today to be more prepared for tomorrow? For anything. It could be the smallest situation or the largest catastrophe. What are you doing to prepare yourself? Can you prepare yourself physically? Is there some sort of physical goal that you can give yourself that will prepare you for something physical? Is there something you can do today that will mentally prepare you, spiritually prepare you for anything? Is there something you can do today to prepare your family for a water outage, a power outage, a food shortage supply? What can you do today? There's something that you could do right now to just be one tiny step closer to being prepared. And I think that's something really important to think about and to assess and to live in this naivety. Is that a word? Naivety? That, oh, I have tomorrow. I'll deal with that tomorrow. Well, tomorrow often gets pushed out to the next day and the next day, and then we never do anything about it. It's that procrastination that allows us to stay in this state of being unprepared for things. And sometimes you don't even know what you fully need until you endure something, until you encounter something. But that doesn't mean that you can't do something now. Again, not out of fear, but just out of being smart. So on that note, here's a quick little Costco run that I did last week. I didn't necessarily show you what I got, but just give you a few ideas if you have a Costco membership or a Sam's membership or whatever, of some items that you could possibly grab that would help you be more prepared. And most of this in particular that I'm going to show you here, it revolves around like food storage, but even just something simple as like buying packs of batteries or flashlights, or so hopefully this just gives you a little idea of something to think about while you're out and about today. What is one thing that you could do to be more prepared? Okay, so right inside the front doors at this Costco is a bunch of batteries, which is great because I often forget to check for batteries. They also have this like 3-pack of flashlights right now, which can come in handy. These actually do charge as well, so you can put batteries in them and they can charge, which is a nice feature to have. Nuts are a great one to stock up on because they last for a long time if they're unopened. Nuts do spoil though, so they will keep better long-term in a freezer, but you risk, power going out and then, they will get rancid at some point. Canned meat is always a great option. There's canned chicken breast here. Canned tuna is another great option. Here's some albacore here. Canned meat lasts for so long and it's such a great, easy way to get some protein in. Rice is a great one to have on hand in large quantities. So right now they have this long grain, like just a basic white rice. They have basmati here, and then there is a sushi rice that I'll show you in just a second. A few days after this trip, I did go back and they did have some jasmine on the shelf. We are currently pretty stocked up on some rice because it's such a great one to have on hand, and we eat it all the time already anyways. And so we do go through it and cycle through it. So it's a great one to have on hand. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for these to come back for a very long time. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. 2 bags. These are also amazing. That's happening. So obviously I just grabbed some dried fruit there. That's stuff that we normally eat, but dried fruit is another great one to have on hand for long-term food storage. Olive oils here. So Kirkland Signature has a large variety of olive oils here at Costco. It's the kind that I always buy. I usually get the extra virgin or the Italian, and it's just such a great price. You get a lot of olive oil. And anytime you see those green signs, that means that it's organic. So if you do have a Costco membership, the green signs mean organic. Here's some more nuts. We have pine nuts here. We have almonds. I have a few bags of these almonds at home. Sugar, there's a few different varieties of sugar here. They have the organic cane sugar. I really like that one. In a nice big bag. It's really versatile. They also have this brown sugar that I have bought before, and I mean, brown sugar is brown sugar. It's just regular cane sugar mixed with molasses, so you can make your own, but I like to buy it pre-made, one step done for me. Flour is a great one to have on hand. Obviously, you can do a lot with flour, make some bread. You can last a long time on just some bread. They have some varieties here. We actually buy flour in bulk from our local grocery store. And I think it's the Dakota Mill brand, maybe. Is it Dakota Mill? I think it's Dakota Mill. And we really like that brand. And it's a nice big bag. Spices are a great one to have on hand. Here's some more oils. Coconut oil. I buy this for work all the time. This is an insane deal on olive oil, or coconut oil, I should say. Apple cider vinegar, obviously that's great for like gut health, and you can do canning with it. You can make like adrenal tea cocktails with it. Like, it's just really good for gut health. And yeah, here's some oats. Oats are a great one to have on hand. They're a nice source of fiber, and again, can be very versatile. If you have power and have the ability to grind them up, you can turn it into oat flour. You can make oat milk. You can do a lot of things. These jams are actually really good. I always look for additional like high fructose corn syrup, and if there is any, I put it right back because I don't buy any of that junk. But oh, here's some cool syrup. This, I did not end up buying this. I just buy the typical organic Costco brand syrup because we use a ton of syrup, and it's always great to have on hand. Even for longer storage. Stuff like this would make any kind of crazy situation a little bit more enjoyable when you have something sweet. There's some beans on the back here. Beans are a great one. Canned beans are a great one to have on hand. And I did not have any more time to walk around the store because they close at 8:30. So I just grabbed a few things for the night. And if you guys want more Costco content, I love Costco. I'll go there all the time. Just let me know in the comments below.